I thought grief would be the hardest part, but betrayal wears a colder face. My name is Leah Monroe, and I found out my husband left everything, not to me, but to her, 3 days after they buried him. It started with the call. I was still in my robe, hair half brushed, sitting on the kitchen floor with his wedding ring in my palm. I'd worn it on a chain around my neck since the accident. It had only been 9 days. The house still smelled like his cologne. His coffee mug sat by the sink, and I kept setting the table for two, like muscle memory refused to forget. Then the phone rang. Unknown number. Mrs. Monroe? This is Denise calling from Tri-State Life and Casualty. I'm reaching out regarding the life insurance policy held by your late husband, Mr. Anthony Monroe. I closed my eyes. I'd almost forgotten he had one. Yes, okay, I whispered. What do I need to do? She paused. Actually, I'm calling to inform you that you are not listed as the beneficiary. The words fell like bricks. What? The primary beneficiary was changed last month to a Ms. Natalie Green. We're legally required to notify you as his spouse, but the payout will be processed to the new recipient within 10 business days. I didn't speak, couldn't. The room spun, even though I hadn't moved. I didn't even know a Natalie Green. I sat there for hours, replaying it all. The way he kissed me before heading out that morning. The final text he sent, "Be home by 8, love you." How the crash report said it was a one-car accident. No foul play, no sign of another driver, no suspicious substances, just a slippery road, a sharp curve, a shattered life. I called his best friend, Marcus. He'd known Anthony since college. They worked together, ate lunch together every Thursday like clockwork. "Do you know a Natalie Green?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. He was silent for too long. "Marcus? Yeah, I know her." I felt something twist in my gut. "Who is she?" She was our office's legal consultant, contracted, in and out. Nothing serious. Nothing serious? Then why did he leave her everything? "Leah, I don't know. I swear. I thought he was just helping her out. She was going through a divorce, and he never said anything more than that. How long? I don't know." I hung up, because I could feel the truth in my chest before I ever saw it in writing. I searched his drawers, his emails, his files, and there it was, the updated policy. E-signed on a Friday when I thought he was out with Marcus watching a game. I found her number in his phone under NG. I called. She answered on the second ring. "Hello? This is Leah Monroe, Anthony's wife." A pause, then a soft, almost pitying voice. "I figured you'd call eventually." I clenched my jaw. "You knew about me, didn't you?" "Yes. And you let him do this? Let him change the policy?" "I didn't ask for it. I didn't even know he'd done it. I found out when they called me, same as you." "Liar." "Believe what you want," she said, her voice cold now. "But I loved him. He was going to leave you." I hung up again. Not because she was lying, but because I wasn't sure. She was. I sat on the floor again that night, just like the morning before. Only this time, there was no ring in my palm, just the heavy silence of everything falling apart. But the next day, I started digging. Because something about this, about Natalie, didn't feel like the whole story. And what I found next would change everything I thought I knew about the man I married. I started at his desk. Anthony always kept it neat, obsessively so. Every pen had a home. Every receipt was filed by category. But now, the drawers felt different. Like someone had already been here. Like someone had touched what they shouldn't have. In the back corner of the lowest drawer, behind the tax folders and old sticky notes, I found a black USB drive. No label. I plugged it into my laptop. At first, it looked empty, but then a single folder appeared. NG Confidential. My heart stilled. I clicked. Inside were audio files, recordings, labeled by date, dating back nearly 7 months. The first one, just office chatter, background noise. But by the fourth recording, I heard her. Natalie and Anthony. Natalie's voice. "You think she suspects?" Anthony. "No, Leah trusts me. Too much maybe." Natalie. "She won't once she finds out." Anthony, she won't find out. Not unless you tell her. Natalie, and what if I do? Anthony, then you won't see a single dollar. Silence. Natalie, what if she doesn't die first? I slammed the laptop shut. I couldn't breathe. They were planning something. Or maybe they already had. Was it an accident or something else? I called Marcus again. I need you to tell me the truth, I said. Did Anthony ever talk about getting rid of me? What? Leah, what are you saying? I'm saying I found recordings. Her voice, his, talking about money, about me. There was a pause. Then Marcus said something I wasn't ready to hear. You're not the first person Anthony did this to. I froze. What? He had another woman before Natalie. Years ago. Different city. Same pattern. Promises, insurance, money. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know until now. I thought Natalie was different. But once you mentioned the beneficiary, I started thinking. I went back to the files. This time, I clicked the last one, dated 2 days before the accident. Anthony sounded nervous, like someone who was running out of time. Anthony, I told her I'd change it back. I will. I just need a few more days. Natalie, you said that last week. Anthony, she's asking questions. If I die and she finds out, Natalie, then let her. What's she gonna do from the grave? Silence. Anthony, this wasn't the plan. Natalie, no, it was. You're just getting scared. Anthony, maybe I should tell her everything. A click. The recording ends. He was afraid. Afraid I'd find out. And he was right. Because now I wasn't just grieving. I was watching. And I wasn't going to rest until I uncovered exactly what they did and took back what was mine. It was a cold Monday morning when I drove to the address listed on Natalie Green's last invoice. A brownstone. Too polished. Too quiet. There were fresh flowers outside. Luxury car in the driveway. She wasn't just getting by, she was thriving. On my husband's life. On my grief. I waited until she left, then walked around the side of the building. The windows were cracked. Her blinds were thin. I could see inside. The photos, not just of her and Anthony, framed, smiling, like they were the ones who were married. That night, I called the lawyer listed on the policy update. I pretended to be Natalie's assistant. Hi, I just need a copy of the notarized signature for Miss Green's file. There was a mishap with payroll, and HR needs confirmation for audit. He didn't ask many questions, emailed it within the hour. And there it was, Anthony's signature. Except it wasn't. Not the real one. I had enough of his documents to compare. The loops were off. The slant wrong. He didn't sign that paper. Natalie had forged it. I went to the police. They smiled politely, wrote down my complaint. But without more proof, without a direct witness or motive, they couldn't open a case. Accident, they kept saying. It was just an accident. So I hired someone, a friend of Marcus's, a retired PI who owed him a favor. Within a week, he brought back gold. Natalie Green didn't just know Anthony. She had dated his brother years ago. A messy split. Rumors of jealousy. And then she reappeared, just as Anthony's firm brought her on for consulting. Too neat, too clean. The final piece? A camera. There was dashcam footage, not from Anthony's car, but from a delivery truck that passed by that same stretch of road 10 minutes after the crash. It caught a glimpse of a black sedan with no headlights, parked just beyond the curve, waiting. I showed it to the police, and suddenly, everything changed. They reopened the case, seized the insurance payout. Natalie went quiet, stopped answering calls, took down all her socials, vanished. But I wasn't done, because what she stole wasn't just money. It was my life. A month later, I got a letter. From her, no return address, 4 lines. You win, but don't think you were ever the victim. He made his choice. I just made sure you felt it. I burned it. Didn't need her words in my home. Because what came next was my choice. And it was time to take back everything. The payout froze. The company launched a fraud investigation. Natalie's assets were flagged. Her accounts locked. And slowly, like layers of old paint peeling off a wall, the truth started to show. She had done this before, not with death, Not exactly, but with deceit. 3 former clients had filed quiet claims in the past: extortion, threats, emotional manipulation, but none had stuck. Until me. I went to Anthony's firm next. They had barely sent flowers after he passed. Didn't even invite me to the boardroom memorial. But now they were scared, because if Natalie had worked with them and Anthony had funneled money to her through consulting fees, it wasn't just a personal scandal. It was corporate fraud. I wasn't out for money. I was out for truth, for my name, for my dignity. And when the final report came through, validating the forgery, confirming Natalie's manipulation, proving that Anthony had indeed planned to switch the policy back, I felt something I hadn't in months: relief and rage, both living in my throat. But I didn't scream. I didn't post about it online. Didn't send a single angry message. Instead, I bought a plane ticket to the town where Natalie was last seen, not to confront her, but to walk past her, in silence, to let her see the face of the woman who didn't break. Anthony had made his choice. He lied. He betrayed. He planned to hurt me, and in some ways he succeeded. But he forgot one thing: grief doesn't make you weak. It sharpens you. It burns everything fake to ash and leaves only what's real. I donated half of his remaining assets to a foundation for women recovering from financial abuse. I rebuilt my career. I even started counseling, something I never thought I'd do. And slowly, I returned, not to the woman I was, but to the woman I had buried while trying to make him happy. Because here's what no one tells you: you can survive betrayal, you can rise after heartbreak, but the greatest victory is not revenge, it's remembrance of who you were before they tried to erase you. My name is Leah Monroe, and I may have lost my husband, but I found my strength, and I never let anyone change my name on anything again.